Your mind, while being your most powerful asset, has fallen behind. It has missed many software updates on what actually allows us to strive in today's day and age. Our body has optimized itself over many thousands of years to strive in the world. But in the last 100 years or so, our world has changed at a rate never seen before. If you compare what changed between, let's say, 1525 and 1625, I'm sure there are some differences, but it can't compare to the differences between 1925 and 2025. After doing a bit of research, I found out that our brain is actually optimized for the hunter-gatherer period, which lasted for tens of thousands of years. And a quick example I want to share with you might explain why we feel so sensitive to other people's opinions, especially if they're of high status in school or our friend group. Just for about 30 seconds, imagine you are part of a tribe, maybe 20 people, and you all depend on each other for your survival. One evening, you're all sitting around the fire, getting warm, and you mention that you think actually to optimize for the hunting season, you should use a different strategy to kill the boars because it conserves more of the meat. I don't know. One of the important members of the tribe gets wind of this, and suddenly you're not invited along for the hunt anymore. Another few weeks pass and suddenly you are kicked out of the tribe for being a traitor, and you were all alone in the wild. Barely surviving for dinner, you're one night plucking some blueberries from a bush, and then all of a sudden a massive bear appears, your arm is in excruciating pain, and a few seconds later, you're dead. And after experiencing probably hundreds of thousands of cases like these, similar in some way, the brain has learned and realized that it is very necessary for us to avoid being seen in a negative light, especially of those who are of higher status than us, because if we do, we might die. And because this hunter-gatherer lifestyle went on for such a long period of time, our brain just hasn't quite caught up yet. It hasn't realized yet that watching pornography, for example, isn't us reproducing. And it's so confusing for our body because the external change of the world is just taking place so much quicker than the internal change. And maybe at some point our brain will realize that we gotta speed this up because the world is constantly changing now. Now, I don't think this is a disadvantage. I think once you're conscious of this, is actually a massive advantage, because most people go through life not being aware of what I've just told you. And it's only a very small percentile of humans who actively guide themselves through life. Just yesterday, I got home from school, I was exhausted, and somehow I was sucked into a half-hour loop of all things, YouTube, I'm trying to get it up, YouTube Shorts. Border Patrol gets owned by teen lawyer. That quality of content. They have scientists, they have neurobiologists, they have so many people looking at how they can basically take your mind hostage, and either you fight, or some people, I don't mean it extremely, but sort of. Either you fight, most people don't even realize that they should fight, and some people don't even want to fight. I said at the beginning of this video that our mind was our biggest asset, and maybe I have changed my mind, no pun intended. Our ability to distinguish between our animalistic instincts and what we know we should actually do, between right and wrong, despite being pulled towards wrong, and then being able to make the right choice, that is our biggest asset. That is what makes us human, and that is why we are the most dominant species on Earth. So use it.